Good morning. It's very early. It's about, you can see it's 4:14. Most mornings I get up around 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'll sleep until 5. I know it's pretty early, but we go to bed pretty early. We go to bed usually at 8 or 9 o'clock, so I usually get 7 to 8 hours sleep a night. I'm going to make some pancakes this morning. They're pretty easy to make. I usually will have a toast, sourdough toast for breakfast, but this is just about as easy to make as sourdough toast, and it's about half the price. I think I'm also going to try this syrup that I got, this pure maple syrup, which I've never had before. It seems a little watery though, so we'll see. I also got these blueberries. I put them in the freezer here. See, I still have a little frozen pumpkin pie. So I froze these blueberries. It says they're about 70 calories per cup. That's really not very many. I would have expected a lot more calories. Now I did try them. I tried them in pancakes a few weeks ago. And it's weird because some of them are really sour. Like probably that one is very sour. And some were really sweet and nice, but I don't know if there's a way to tell which ones are. These all look pretty good. I took these out last night and put them in a bowl to thaw out a little bit since they're frozen, and I'll just keep these in the refrigerator. And I'm going to add these to the pancakes today. But it was interesting because I tried these in the pancakes last week. What I did, I made up the batter and then I stuck the blueberries in the batter, and they just sat in the batter for a day or two. Usually I'll make enough batter to last 2 or 3 days. But what happened was, I guess they have a lot of water in them, the blueberries, and they made the batter really wet, and then the blueberries got really soggy and mushy, which was okay, but it just made a really weird texture to the pancake batter. And by the second or third day, the pancake mix was almost like water. And it turned purple, which is okay too, but it just looked weird and tasted weird. So this time I thought I'll just make the pancake mix separate, and then when I'm ready to cook, make the pancakes, then I'll just add the blueberries at the last minute and see if that works a little bit better. If you hear me sniffling, it's because I have a runny nose. Well, I do every morning for my allergies. I have to blow my nose just constantly, especially bad in the morning when I first get up. I already took my allergy pill, and that should kick in a little bit, but for right now, it's not so great. I just turned off the camera so you wouldn't have to listen to me blow my nose. This is pretty easy. I always forget, though, how much to add. I think I'm just going to go with 1 cup of pancake mix and 2/3 cup water. It can be a little messy. I forget what I paid for this at Walmart. I think it was just a couple of dollars. And a loaf of sourdough bread now, the sourdough bread that I get, is like $4, almost $5 now. So this was about half the price. For me, I don't like my pancakes really fluffy, and I kind of like them hard and smashed down. I also find it's a little bit easier if they're not as watery, so I don't put in as much water as the recipe requires. Yeah, I'm not sure why everyone likes fluffy pancakes. I like just the opposite. 2/3 cup water. Start with a little bit less and see. Okay, that's a little bit too thick for pancakes, so I'll go ahead and put the rest of the water in. So do you guys like pancakes? Do you make them very often? Do you ever put blueberries in them? Yeah, so my mix is pretty thick like this, but I kind of like it like that. It makes it a little bit easier to put it in the pan without them running. I like smaller pancakes. I'll have 3 or 4 small pancakes, but if it's waterier, then they kind of just spread out, and this just makes it a little bit easier for me. Now, some of you may remember that in another video a few weeks ago, I mentioned that because of my heartburn and acid reflux, I can't eat butter or margarine anymore. And when I used to make my pancakes, I would just put margarine or butter in the pan, let it melt, and then I would cook them in the butter. And it tasted great. I mean, the butter or margarine tasted fantastic with the pancakes, and then I didn't have to add butter later to the pancakes. Well, I decided to go ahead and maybe try olive oil instead, and I kind of had a feeling it was going to be awful. And boy, was I surprised. Cooking the pancakes in olive oil actually tastes so much better than in the butter. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it tastes really, really good. So that's what I do now. And olive oil is good for you, doesn't give me heartburn, and the pancakes taste even better. Put just a little bit of olive oil. Really didn't seem to need much when I made it last time. Just enough to keep it from sticking. In fact, this is probably even too much. Have any of you tried making pancakes with olive oil? So this is going to be the first time I'm adding blueberries after I put them in the pan, so I don't know how they're going to turn out, but we'll find out together. Okay, so you can see what they look like there. I usually do 2 or 3. All right, so I guess I'll add my blueberries now. Not sure the best way to do this, I guess. Yeah, I guess I just put them in like they're chips or something. I'm looking for ones that look like they might not be sour, but I have no idea how to tell, to be honest. And if I keep going this slowly, they're going to be burned, so I guess I'm just going to have to add them real fast here. Hands are turning, my fingers are turning purple. Oh, I wanted to show you what it looks like. Okay, that's what they look like now. My camera battery just died just as I was starting to cook these. Murphy's Law, right? I checked the battery right before filming and it said I had a full battery, so I don't know, go figure. But this is the way I like them. I like them so they look almost, not burned, but very dark and flat, not fluffy. Am I the only one who likes my pancakes this way? Okay, so here's what they look like. All right, let me try this maple syrup, pure maple syrup. We have pretty dim lighting in here in the kitchen and dining room, so hopefully you can see this. Yeah, it just seems very watery, but I don't know. Let's see. It seems a lot waterier than the syrup I normally use, and this seems more like when I bought, I don't know if you remember when I bought the sugar-free syrup, that was very watery like this. So, I don't know. What, you prefer watery syrup or thicker syrup? Now, this table jiggles a lot, so hopefully it's not jiggling the camera too much. I hadn't thought about that. I don't think I've filmed here at the table before. We really don't eat at the table very often. Now, the blueberries, man, they really do run and get all over everything. The maple syrup tastes a lot sweeter than the normal syrup I use, which was the old Aunt Jemima syrup. This was really, really sweet. Maybe a little too sweet. Okay, the pancake's falling apart because of the blueberries. Man, this is so sweet, it feels like it's hurting my teeth. And I don't think there's supposed to be anything added to it. It says the ingredients are maple syrup, that's all there is. Yeah, so I would say I definitely prefer the old Aunt Jemima. I can't remember what it's called, Milling Company now. Really surprising how fast and easy it is to make pancakes. When I was a kid, it was always sort of like a special occasion kind of thing. So I just always thought in my mind that it was very difficult to make. Took a long time, but I think this really took me about the same amount of time as making toast, especially if the batter's already made. And I swear, these are so good. If you've never tried making these with olive oil, definitely give it a try. And let me know in the comments what you think. So this is a typical breakfast for me, either a couple of pancakes or a small bowl of cereal. I like to eat before I walk, and I walk when the sun comes up, and it won't be up until around 6, so it gives me time to go online and check out the news. I stopped drinking coffee probably, gosh, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I loved coffee. Drank a lot of coffee back in the day, back in my 20s and 30s, but then I started getting kidney stones, and one of the causes was coffee. So I don't drink coffee anymore. I can drink decaf coffee once in a while without having any kidney stone problems. So 2 or 3 times a year I'll have a cup of decaf coffee, and for some reason I'm having the urge this morning to have a cup of decaf. Maybe because it's starting to get cold here. Well, for us in Palm Springs, cold is 60 degrees, 55, 60 degrees. So I'm gonna have a cup of decaf coffee. since I've already stained my teeth with blueberries this morning, might as well add to it, add a little bit more stain with some coffee. So I just get these little 6-pack decaf packages because, I mean, this will last me a couple of years. I wonder when I bought this. Let's see what the date is. October 11th, 2024. It's good too. So, okay, so I probably bought this fairly recently. Actually, first what I'm going to do is microwave the water. I just make it in the microwave. Jim just got up, came in for a minute. When he gets up in the morning, he takes a shower and gets dressed for the day. And we're very different about that. I get up and the first thing I do is have breakfast. He doesn't have breakfast for an hour or two after he's up, but he eats a lot later than I do. He eats his dinner around 6. I eat my last meal of the day usually around, well, I have my, quote, dinner usually around 1 o'clock during the day, and then I might have a couple of rice cakes as a snack later around 4 o'clock. So that's the last time I eat. I don't eat anything until the next morning, so I'm usually pretty hungry by the time I get up at 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock. I had to get this reduced fat. I thought this was non-fat. Turns out it's like 2% or something, so that was because they were out of what I normally get at Walmart the other day. It's pretty strong coffee. I mean, even though it is decaf, it's pretty strong, at least for me, so I usually need to put 1.5 of these sweeteners in it. Well, before I drink my coffee, I have to remember to take my pill. Every morning I take a potassium citrate pill. It's for my kidney stones, so let me do that. I'm not great at taking pills, especially that one is so huge. Every now and then it gets stuck sideways in my throat, makes me gag. So not my favorite thing, but so I take my allergy pill as soon as I get up because my nose usually is just flowing from the minute I get up. So that you can see right now, my allergies have kind of dried up already this morning, and so that usually helps quite a bit. Are you a black coffee drinker or a milk coffee drinker? I'm definitely a milk coffee drinker. It's surprisingly good for being an instant little packaged coffee. Add a little bit of sweetener, a little bit of milk, and it's actually very good. So that's pretty much my morning routine. Jim's is the opposite. He's in the shower now, and then he'll get dressed. And once he's dressed for the day, he stays in that outfit, whatever it is, for the entire day. So if he goes out, if he's going out somewhere and he's a little bit more dressed up, he just stays dressed up for the whole day. Where I change my clothes probably half a dozen times every day because I'm doing different things, and I get hot, I get cold, and I'm exercising and whatever. So it only takes 30 seconds to change your clothes. It's not like we really wear that much. We mostly are just wearing shorts and some kind of a t-shirt and some flip-flops. So as soon as the sun comes up, it's almost 5:30, so in about a half hour I'll be on my walk. This is kind of mundane, showing you what I have for breakfast, but I know a lot of you are like me, and I guess just very curious about what people eat for breakfast, what they have in their refrigerator, what do they have in their pantry, what do they buy at the grocery store. It's just the simple things in life sometimes. It's fun to see what other people do. Hope you are having breakfast along with me. Probably not at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I am curious, what time do you get up and have breakfast? And what do you have for breakfast? Share with us in the comments. Oh, and before I forget, I want to give a shout out and a very big thank you to Nancy Elward. Thank you, Nancy, once again for your very generous donation to this channel using YouTube Super Things. You are awesome. I really appreciate it. And thank you, too, to all of you who have taken the time to subscribe to this channel. That means a lot, too. And it really helps my channel grow. And that's also very appreciated. So thanks for hanging out with me this morning, and I'll see you all next time.